So hello guys and welcome to the analog tags. So here we gone through the digital tags in the previous video. I'm not using that anymore. I delete it. Okay, simply delete it. And I'm using one analog tag that will be a slider. Okay, analog means continuously varying, not like the 0 and 1 exactly defined. Analog means that could be varied, so I'm using one slider right here, simply one slider. See, so this is my schematic slider, so I can give the values continuously from 0 to 100 by sliding the knob right here. That is the schematic slider. So for watching, like in the previous video in the digital tags, the input is the switch and the output was the circle. So here the input will be the slider and the output will not be a circle that could be on and off. That will be a value display, or else in the Siemens it's called IO field. So I'm just using the IO field right here. The IO field will display the value whichever the process value is. That means when the slider value is changing, that will shows the value in the IO field. So that's one of a kind of output. Okay, IO field. So let's first explore the slider. So schematic slider, right click and go for the properties. And inside the properties, you can see one thing in the properties. Inside the properties, let's see what's inside. So see, here we have inside the properties general, you can see the minimum and maximum value. How much value I should provide through the slider. That can be 0 to 1000, 0 to 100, 0 to 10. Any value you can assign. I can make it as 0 to 1000 right here. So 0 to 1000. See, now it's 0 to 1000. So I just make it bigger. So this is the 0 to 1000 slider. I'm not using this. I'm using the default 0 to 100 right now. Not now. So that's it. And we can use the tag for minimum, tag for maximum, and tag for minimum. See, these are the two tags. If you want to limit these values, the maximum value and minimum value, with respect to a tag, PLC tag, you can use that also. I'll show you in the last time. That will be the application for the tag minimum and tag maximum on the last videos. Okay, fine. So normally I'm using the process tag. Process tag means whichever the slider will be moving. When the slider is moving, the value inside the slider that's feeding, that is the process value. The slider feeds the value, that is a process value. So that I can provide the process tag, click here on the three dots, that means the configuration button, and you can see the tags are empty because the slider cannot be provided with a digital or a boolean tag. I have to provide an analog tag, so I'm using add a new. I'm using an analog tag. So here you can see we have the HMI tag one. I'm renaming it as SL, or for the abbreviation slider. And the tag data type should be integer. Integer means 0, 1, 2, 3, like 100, 200. That will be the integer numbers. From -1, -2, anything could be integer. And there is another option for that also, that will be real. Real means I can give you the point values, 0 0.1, 2, 3, 4, like that values. I'm not using that right now. I'm using the integer, and okay. And also inside the slider, I will show you inside the slider, inside the SL edit, you can fix the range also. You can fix the slider value range for the integer. The maximum and minimum you can make it fix as a constant or an HMI tag or anything. You can limit that thing, limit that slider range. Oh, sorry, not the slider range, the tag range into anything. So that is it. And we are actually going for the next thing, that will be slider. And we don't have to go through this anymore. And the label is schematic. So if you want to change that label, you can change it. The motor speed, you can change it like motor speed, MOTOR speed 1, SPEED, and enter. So here we have it as a motor speed. See, this is my slider, And if you want to make it a bit fancier like the switch, you can go to the appearance, nothing. See, foreground color, only the background color, everything will be shown here. And I'm going to the styles or designs. Inside the styles or designs, I can make it a bit dark. If you're a big fan of Batman, you'll be definitely liking the dark themes, or DC fan. So here we have it. Here we have the dark theme. The motor speed can be controlled from here. See, we have a bit, it's a dark theme. It's not actually a dark theme, but the name is dark theme. Okay, anyway, it's up to you. If you want to use the normal one, you can use, and if you can use the modular one, you can use this. That's it. And you can see a bit two things also. One low limit that will be in yellow color, one high limit that will be in red color. It is mounted here. See, and if you can go to the properties, if you go to the properties, and you can set the limits. In the general appearance, you can see the limits, low limit and the high limit. The low limit is in the orange color, see, and the high limit is the red color. So that is it. And the focus color and the bar color, everything you can change from here, from the appearance. And you go for the border. If you don't want the border, you can increase the size of the border. You can increase the line color and the background color. Anything you can change. That is, you can change it to 3D border color, anything. So it's not mandatory. Layout, and inside the layout, you can see a couple of things: position and the style. And the text format, that will be Thoma. It's a kind of font. I'm not good at this. Flashing, styles and designs we already gone through. Miscellaneous and security will be taken on the last. Okay, so that's it for general. I just given the tag and the appearance also for the styles. Now I'm going to the next one. That will be the IO field. IO field means, you can see, this is my IO field, and in the IO field properties general, there is also a process tag to display. For displaying the process tag of the IO field, you can see I can give the same tag which I have already given to the slider. That will be SL. So SL is provided, and the type will be, we can make it as an input. You can see you can change this thing into an input or output, or an input or output. Anything you can fix. I'm using an in-out. And the appearance, you can change the appearance like the previous thing. Characteristics, hidden input, or I'm not using that. Text format, styles and designs. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Batman. I'm not a good fan, I'm a big fan. So I just make it as dark. Now it's very dark. And we just going to the animations, nothing events, text events, nothing. Okay, fine. So just given the input, and for the IO field I just provided the output. Okay, fine. Now we can go for the runtime. So start the simulation. So these things which I have already developed in here, that will be loaded to the HMI screen. Now it's a bit faster than the previous times because I already have this WinCC runtime here, because that will be a bit faster than the previous times, because on the startup that will take some time. In the previous video I just cut some parts of the video because that takes a bit time. Anyway, so I can increase the value from here. This is the slider bar that will be increasing the motor speed. See, whoosh, and you can see the values are changing over here. That is the process value that we can feed the values from the slider. I can slide the value. See, I can slide the value from here, and this is it. See, that is the process value. So I'm going next. Okay, now I'm going to show you a couple more properties about this slider. You can see on this right click properties, you can see on the layout, you can change the scaling position. That could be, now it is up, down, and I'm going to make it right or down. So right. So I just made this slider into a horizontal slider. See, here you can see now it's a horizontal slider. We can drag or make the speed as a horizontal one also. See, this is my horizontal slider now. So if you don't want to place the label right here, I can go to the properties and in the general, I can delete this motor speed, delete and enter. So now it looks like a real slider that can be drag and drop as a horizontal. Now drag and drop, actually scale it as horizontal. So we can see the limits, the yellow color low limit and the high limits in here on the limits. Styles and designs, miscellaneous, text, layout, and you can see the current value, everything right here. And the border, you can see inside the appearance, you can see the low limits violated, high limits violated right here. The colors you can change. Okay, the colors, and I can show you one more thing, some more elements that can show the process value, analog process value. That is one thing, is the bar right here. That's the bar graph. That bar graphs, we can use it as a filling element. If you right click on the bar graph, you can see on the general, I just provided the process tag, the same process tag that I have given to the IO field, the SL. When the slider is moving, this bar graph should be also activated. I'm making it a style as WinCC dark. So, and the limits I can fix the color right here. Okay, I'm not going through that. Text format, layout, and the position, the scaling position, that filling up, down or right, left, anything I can fix in the layout. And the labels, if you don't want the labels, I can uncheck the labels. That's the main option. Uncheck the labels. So labels are gone now. And the scales, go to the scales. I don't need the scales right here, so uncheck the scales. That's also gone. I can go to the border type. I can use the border types as width. I'm reducing the width of the border. See, now it's like a transparent element with the filling. I can go to the properties again, appearance. The foreground color I can change to any color, like green. See, the filling would be green. The background color, if you want to change, you can go right here, specifies a color, and it will be blue. So blue and green fillings should be happening. So go to the properties again. If you don't want to see the background or these kind of elements, these kind of stuff, these higher and lower limits, the limits I can change the color into white. So I don't want the limits. Like, let's see, you can go right here, flash, text format, layout, and labels, scales, and show marker process value. I don't need the marker anymore. And the layout also, show scale, auto scale, interval, corner radius, appearance, marks. If you don't want the marks, you can uncheck that. So that's gone, marks are gone. So it looks like a filling element. Okay, it's like a tag now. Okay, my colors are a bit fancier, but you can use your own colors. Okay, it's not, doesn't depend on the colors. So also I'm using one more thing. It's a gauge. It's a gauge. See now it's a gauge. This gauge, we can see values through a meter gauge. So I'm using this gauge. I'm going to general. Process tag will be the same like SL. And going to the appearance and styles and design, I'm making it dark theme. See, now it's a good looking gauge. Go to properties again. Ranges, I can place the range. Normal range I'm using green color. Warning range in the yellow color. Danger range above 70, that will be red color. So okay, so styles and designs, I uncheck this and I can edit the ranges. See, I can edit the starting ranges. Have to uncheck this WinCC dark tick mark. And text, layout, and dial size, center size, everything you can change. Internal parameters, design, appearance, everything looking good. I think the gauge by default it's also good. So I can go to the simulation. Now let's see what happens when I use this. Okay, see, now we have this thing in our pocket in our HMI screen. So I'm going to change the values. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. See, the dial is moving, the filling is happening, the analog feeling, the dial moving. See, any color, any feelings, any process value we can use, we can choose with that could be horizontal or vertical. This is the analog values I can provide, I can feed in the WinCC. So we learned the digital and the moving or changing the analog values also. So that can be, the digital tag can be used for making it on and off. The analog values can be used for making the motor speed and or for displaying the temperature, speed, displaying the pressure, anything that can be done through an analog tag. So that's it.